Hey, how's it going everyone? In this lesson, I would like to start talking about functions in JavaScript. But before we dive deeper into how functions behave inside our code, I think it'll be good to understand the real nature of functions in this language, because functions are in fact objects in JavaScript. So let's get started. One of the main reasons why we use functions in programming is because they allow us to reuse pieces of code when we need to perform some task. They also help us to make our code more readable, organized, and simplified. But what is a function? A function in programming, also known as a subroutine, procedure, or subprogram, is just a sequence of instructions that performs a particular task. And these instructions work as a single unit. These units of code become more manageable pieces to deal with, as we only need to know the name of the function to reuse it, but not how it works inside. And that is called abstraction. In the same way as you can drive a car, but you don't need to know how the engine works. But anyway, these instructions are embedded inside a block of code, defined by a pair of curly braces. So anything inside the block of code of a function will belong to this function and will be executed when we call this function, no matter if it's some other function or some conditional statement, a data structure, or whatever. It will exist only inside of this function. The function itself includes also a list of parameters, a reference to call it with, and the function keyword, of course, to indicate that we want that piece of code to become a function object. Now, on the other hand, if we have a look at some object, we can see how an object is a group of key-value pairs that belong to the same entity, and that we can use the same reference, which is the name of the object. But the thing is that we only have a reference outside of it. There's nothing that indicates that they can be called somehow. And even though we can certainly invoke the methods inside of it, we cannot call the whole object at once, let's say, as we do with a function. So if we take a look at both, they have pretty much the same structure. But the difference is that an object is not callable, while a function is callable. And that's the main advantage of functions over objects. So a function is in fact a function object or a callable object. So kind of an object that is invocable or can be called. That is, an object with extra features. So it can be treated and used as such. So you can not only invoke it, but you can also assign it to a variable, the same as we do with an object. You can also assign variables to it, which will become local variables, and you can pass a function as an argument to another function. That's why they define as first-class citizens, but we'll talk about this definition in some other lecture. Now, let's see some examples in order to verify what we've seen so far. If we create a simple function, actually, we don't even need to add anything inside, but anyways. And now, if we add a property to it, if we use console there to see the object, we can see how the property is there. And to compare it with an object, let's create a simple object. Now we do the same thing. Here you have the object. See, properties are there, same as here. But what we want to see here is that this prototype, it's exactly the same as this one here. See? And that's just because they both inherit from the object prototype. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.